So this is the acetanilide. What we have is the aniline that's on the left. We have the what's in the middle there?
That's just DI water.
DI water, and then the other one we've got acetic anhydride, right?
Yes.
All right. So what you should do is go ahead and add the aniline first. And I want you to rinse out the aniline with the water. No, use the beaker.
Oh.
Yeah, rinse out the beaker. You just have do that a couple of times with the water. There we go. And then just add the water to the aniline. That's good. And now let's add the acetic anhydride. And we'll give it a stir. I'm going to zoom in on this. Just we're getting any solid yet? Okay, let's go put this down the camera, please. Right. And after a little bit of stirring here, it should begin to react. Okay, now we're starting to get some solid here. That's good. Let's stir it a little bit more, make sure we get all that liquid reacted there. Okay, could you put it on the bench for a second, please, Iris? Okay, that'll do. And you can see that we've got a lot of solid in there. That's really good. Now she's going to go ahead and stick that in the ice. How long does it stay in the ice for, Iris?
For 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Alright, so we're ready to filter the acetanilide now. Let's go ahead, Iris, turn that on. Is that plugged in?
Nope.
Let's plug that in. So you can see we've got plenty of solid in there now. And she's going to go ahead and pour that in. Just pour a little bit of liquid in first, Iris, just to wet down the filter paper. There we go. Now what I want you to stop right there. Now I want you to swirl and dump. I mean really swirl quickly. Yeah, swirl it quickly and then dump it in.
Oh wow.
And you can see there she's got most of the solid out. It's not very pretty looking. It's got some impurities in it. That's why we're going to end up recrystallizing it. Now she's not going to be too careful about drying this. We can just probably go ahead now and turn it off and transfer it to our recrystallizing flask. So what we've done here is we've added the acetanilide and 100 mils of water to this flask, and now we're going to recrystallize it. As you can see, it's not a very nice solid here. So we're going to boil this, and we're going to see if it dissolves. If it dissolves, we won't have to add any more water once it boils. But if it doesn't dissolve, then we're going to have to add some more water, let it boil, and add more water until it does dissolve. The other thing is that this might melt, which means that it might turn into oily globules, which will not be dissolving. Melting and dissolving are not the same thing. Dissolving means it goes into the solution. Melting means that solid turns into a liquid. But those oily globules that look like a lava lamp or something. And we'll see if that happens. We'll see if that happens once this starts to boil. So we've got the acetanilide, crude acetanilide here. It's in the water solution. I'm going to give a little bit of a swirl here. As you can see, it's not quite boiling yet. So it's right. So it looks like here we didn't have to add any water. It looks like it's pretty much dissolved. It is boiling here, just very slightly though. And we're going to go ahead and take that off now. And stick it onto the bench. That's good. And we're going to let that cool and form a couple of crystals, and then we will and then we will filter it. And put it, stick it in the ice, and then we'll filter it. Alright, so this has been sitting on the bench for a bit. We're going to go ahead and stick it into ice. You can see some little crystals in there. I can see some. Go ahead and swirl it a bit, and I'll show you. And stick it down on the bench. And you can see the little bits of crystals that are floating around here. So we're going to stick that into ice now and let it sit for a few minutes. So Iris, you've got this in the ice, and it's been sitting in the ice. And we've got our crystals here, which is good. Give it a bit of a swirl, please. And you can see the crystals are in there. Now, one question people have is, how long do you leave it in the ice for? Well, you leave it in the ice for as long as it takes for it to be as cold as the ice. You've got to remember that crystallization is a temperature-related phenomenon. So as soon as you can put your hand around it and it's as cold as ice, and I always say, put in your heart, is it as cold as ice? Then you've done it. It's already ready to be filtered. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, what Iris has done is she's cleaned out her Buchner funnel, so that's all clean in there. Just put a little liquid in there to begin with, just to flatten out. That's good. Alright, now I want you to do swirl and dump. Swirl and then dump it in. That's good. And you can see her crystals are going to be in here. And there's the crystals. And what's going to happen is that Iris is going to let them dry for 20 minutes, and then she's going to take them out and put them onto a watch glass to be weighed, or a beaker. Okay, Iris, it looks like you've been doing it for 20 minutes now, so let's go ahead and take out those crystals. And we'll put them either into a beaker or onto a watch glass so that they can be weighed, and if your instructor says so, to do a melting point as well.